What are some key areas where you think people need more education and more awareness when it comes to their finances?
I really think it is dealing with interest rates. I used to sell cars, and I think that there's sometimes a little bit of confusion around, what does financing a car actually look like, and like what is an 84-month payment actually costing me. So I would say like that's a big thing. Auto is a huge part of people's budget, and oftentimes having such extended payments can be very painful for people as well. I think the second thing is housing. Mortgages are great, but then you have all these other things that oftentimes come as a surprise, I think, to homeowners when you're buying a home, like property taxes, insurance, etc. And so I'd say those two things, which are kind of like the core part of an economic experience, which is buying a car and buying a house. There could always be more education around. It's not people's fault that they don't know it. It's not something that we're necessarily taught in school, but it's super important to understand.
And what about the generational differences? A recent survey showed that Gen Z lacks financial confidence. How can this gap be bridged?
Sure. Yeah. I think that the lack of financial confidence probably comes from student loan debt. You're 18 years old and you're signing a huge loan for, $100,000 or such. And so I think that that can maybe be addressed, like actually walking people through what student loan debt is, what impact that it can have. It would be a great first step. I'm a big advocate of policy, like public policy. I think that setting people up with some sort of stock market account, I would love to see it return to baby bonds. I just think that like having a financial foundation, to use that word again, would help reduce some of this financial uncertainty that we see. I think a lot of people just worry about the lack of safety net because if something happens, where do you go? What do you do? And so I just think that the more that we can help people sort of establish a financial foundation, the less uncertainty that we could see.